Timeout podcast with Tony Caranco, Tristan Howe, and your host, Wes Underwood.
That time again, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Timeout podcast, brought to you by Jefferson's and Kraken Cajun Seafood House in Joplin. If you're in the mood for some fresh Cajun, head on over to Kraken Cajun Seafood House across from Moe's in Joplin on Main Street. And if you're in the mood for some wings, head to Jefferson's behind Books A Million on Rangeline. And, well, Wes Underwood alongside Tony and Tristan. Welcome back in, fellas. A lot to get to this week, and there's been a lot of fighting going on, some smashing. Seems to be the theme this past weekend anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a pretty interesting week for sure.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get right to it, and we open up with Mike Tyson. And who doesn't like a little Mike Tyson action, as he was in a hitting spree on a plane last weekend. And well, the police say witnesses claim the man next to Tyson was intoxicated and provoking him. Tyson told him to chill, and witnesses then say that he didn't. And then Tyson went at him. And, well, do you guys think it's okay, or do you think Tyson should have held off a little bit? I mean, now that he's got allegations against him, I don't know. Tony?
No, people get way too comfortable with disrespecting other people, and I'm not saying that violence is the answer, but ultimately you shouldn't be hitting people, provoking people. You know what I mean? If he put his hands on Tyson first, I mean, he got off pretty easily, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I watched the video. I mean, that guy's just bothering him, for minutes and minutes on end. And Mike Tyson even reached out to him and was like, while they were on the plane to try to okay, yeah, he thought it was funny at first, whatever. He trying to play it off as a joke, and that guy didn't want that. And I think he got everything he deserved. Actually, well, he didn't get what he deserved, but I'm glad he got hit in the mouth for it. I'm sure he's not going to do that the next time he sees him.
Probably not. Tristan?
I've just got to ask the question: how dumb is this guy to think that he could beat up Mike Tyson?
I mean, maybe.
Well, I don't think he thought Mike Tyson was going to hit him.
Yeah, thinking that he would.
I mean, he only did it for a living for I don't know how many years. So, but
is the least of it. He could have bit his ear off.
Right.
He got away with both ears.
Yeah.
No, to answer your question though, I'm with Tony on this one. Just he got what was coming to him.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, of all people you pick a fight with, it's freaking Mike Tyson. So dumb on that guy's part.
Yep.
Yeah. And next up, we head into boxing, another forte of Mike Tyson there. And, well, only fitting in this episode. And we talk the Fury and White match this past weekend. And uppercut in the 6th round to defend his title in front of 94,000 people in Wembley Stadium. But he says he's given 20 years to boxing in both amateur and pro. And, well, does Fury end his career here on a 32-0-1 record with 23 knockouts, or do you guys think he's going to keep going? Tony, I know your opinion on this, but Tristan, I want to get to you first. Tony, we'll save you for last on this one. I know you got something on that.
I don't think that he's going to hang it up quite yet. I've heard that, speculating that it's starting to heat up a little bit more, that him and Francis Ngannou are thinking of what I've heard is a hybrid fight type deal. I don't know, but I know that Tyson Fury and Ngannou are in talks of doing some kind of fight. So I don't think he's hanging it up quite yet. I think he's got a couple more. I think he's got a couple more fights he's wanting to do, including the Ngannou fight, and then I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I don't see him hanging it up right now, at least.
Tony, agree?
I agree. 100%. Yeah. Francis Ngannou, he was at the fights. He went up on the ring, kind of teasing that he was going to fight Tyson Fury next. I don't think there's any bad blood in there, but there's a lot of money to be made.
Definitely.
I know Francis Ngannou wants to get paid more money because he deserves more money.
Yeah.
He deserves more money than Dana White's paying him. And, I'm glad that he's, going for it. And no, I don't think at the end, I don't think that Tyson Fury's done.
Yeah.
Whenever they're hovering, $100 million fight in your face, you may come out of retirement just for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people have, and didn't Mike Tyson, since we're on that subject, didn't he come out of retirement at one point to do one fight and then he was done again?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Floyd Mayweather has done it. There's been a bunch of, big name fighters have done it.
Yeah.
And if the money's right, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Don't blame them, especially when some of them blow that money away too. So definitely good advertisement stuff going on there and getting fights going and bringing in that revenue like they should. And more revenue coming in a lowly place of Juco baseball. And we'll talk Texas Juco pitcher Owen Woodward. Tackled a hitter, Josh Phillips, who hit a 2-run long ball off of him. And as he rounded third base and just straight up speared the guy. And nothing was clear from the video on what happened. I mean, and apparently neither school had much to say about it. Both coaches apologized for actions, and the game was suspended indefinitely for that one. And, mainly Weatherford's coach was really apologetic there, as should be. And the game was, again, suspended. And, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you think he should be punished even further than what they possibly have done already? Or do you think he should be out of baseball for good?
No, well, I think obviously we don't know what happened leading up to that last pitch. Could there have been some words said? Could there have been something done to that pitcher, to bother him? There's a very good possibility that all of that happened. I'm sure I don't agree with the actions that he took, but it makes for a good subject to talk about on here. He may not have a future in baseball, but he may have a future playing safety somewhere. That's for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Football there. Okay. I see. Tristen?
I mean, we all know how heated baseball can get. I mean, we've seen it on television plenty of times between pitchers and catchers and all of that stuff. So, like Tony said, we don't know what was leading up to that pitch, but it's going to be very hard for him to further his baseball career, knowing that is on his resume, and a bunch of people like us are talking about it. So, I'd say the future's pretty bleak, and out of it, kind of sucks to say that someone's career might be shortened severely due to one crappy mistake like that, at least. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and a lot of people are like all of us possibly are not going to agree with it. So, and if they do keep him on, then it's probably going to be bad for whoever's a fan of that team. So,
sure. Yep. Now, on to the MLB we go, talking more baseball. And, we talk yet another blast as Miguel Cabrera now has over 3,000 hits in a career. And he is in a select club of 32, which is now 33 players. And guys like Wade Boggs, Roberto Clemente, Pete Rose, even though he's not in the Hall or record books, I mean, still a guy that accomplished a lot. Ty Cobb, Stan Musial, Willie Mays, Cal Ripken Jr., and so on. But congrats to him, much deserved, and long season ahead, though, for him. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? Tristen, we'll begin with you.
I've liked Miguel Cabrera for a while now, since his early years in Detroit. So, and I've always sort of had a hunch that he would join the 3,000 hit club.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't stop slowing down, he's going to end up being up there in home runs as well. So, I'm happy for the guy. He's always had a tremendous power behind the plate, and to be able to launch balls and go yards. So, well deserved, honestly. And I'm glad he was able to stick around and get that kind of milestone, because out of anybody in the league, Cabrera is the one that deserves it. So, hats off to him.
Albert Pujols.
Albert Pujols is also he also deserves it. I'm picking the guys that are able to keep their nose clean, and you don't hear any sort of drama really.
Yeah, team players for sure.
Right. So, yeah.
Okay, and Tony, congratulate him. Yes, even though you're not.
Yeah, congrats. Yeah, congratulations to him. I'm glad to see that somebody else is succeeding in a sport that they love, and ultimately, I know you said, you and I talked about it before. He's getting older. He isn't hitting as good, has a hard time staying a little bit healthier. So I'm glad that he reached it. He clawed and scratched his way there, and good for him. Good for him and his family, and for his teams.
All right, bonus question here. Only 2 guys have well over 3,000 hits and are in the 4,000 hit club. Can you name them, Tony or Tristan? What do we got here?
Is one of them Derek Jeter?
It is not
Nope.
Derek Jeter.
Is it Ichiro Suzuki?
No.
Nope. Ty Cobb.
Damn.
Yes, Ty Cobb.
And Pete Rose.
Yep. And the only reason Pete Rose isn't really acknowledged is because he's still banned, but that's a long list there that needs to come undone. Pete Rose as a player should be in the Hall of Fame. Pete Rose as a manager, don't put his managerial career in there, I guess, but he didn't really bet while he was a player. I mean, maybe so. I think he may have done it while he played and managed. I don't know. I don't think he played and managed though, but some people say he did. I don't know. I wasn't alive for all that, but from what I've heard story-wise, I'll just leave that one alone. It's a very touchy subject in the MLB world. So, and continuing in the MLB, we talk toxic fan bases. This coming after a couple of posts on Twitter, one from Guardian's Miles Straw calling the Yankees fan base the worst on the planet. And I'll kind of agree there. I feel like they're top 5. They're not the worst. And sorry, Tristan, I've been to a few games with the Royals, and I'm going for a ball from my own team, and then they just hop up in front of you and try to take it. And they stole 3 of them from me, the Yankees fans did, when they were all coming to me. So, I had the sign up, I had my fists up, I had my glove out, and it went to the Yankees fans. So wasn't really happy with that, but I guess good for them that they got a ball. But anyway, Yankees, yeah, one of the top. Cardinals are up there in my opinion. They got a good fan base, but it's pretty toxic at points. I mean, when they come into your stadium, they think they're the best. And so I would say Cardinals are in the top 5 as well, probably number 3. Anybody else? Tristan, you got any other than those 2? I know you aren't going to say Yankees, so.
Actually, I would probably second you on that one. That they're one of the most toxic fan bases, but I'm also going to throw in the Red Sox.
Okay. Yeah.
And also the Cubs. Cubs, I truly believe the Cubs do have one of the most toxic fan bases. But ever since that World Series win, after like 100 and some years, that just we're gonna get another one. I don't think so, buddy. So,
they might if everything works out well, but I feel like they got recursed or something. Tony?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know much about baseball, but I would agree with the Yankees and the Cubs, because I just based off people that I know and how toxic they are when it comes to being proud of their team. The Yankees and the Cubs are definitely very, very toxic. And I know that you guys saw the video earlier this week of all those Yankee fans throwing stuff at one of the players out in the outfield and whatnot. It was pretty crazy. So to me, that's uncalled for, not necessary. And
I haven't seen anything like that. Barry Bonds.
Yeah. they should, there should definitely be some repercussions for those fans.
Yeah.
And, they need to put their foot down. Ultimately, we don't need that in any sport. Is it fun to watch? Is it interesting? Yes, as much as I hate to admit it, but ultimately, you're messing with people's livelihoods, and it's immature.
Yeah,
people are better than that. I don't think the human race is that bad. We're better than that, and it's a bad deal to see.
I think the only person that should be entitled to outrage this week, Kyle Schwarber with Angel Hernandez. We kind of shared that video with each other through Facebook this week, and I mean, I'll agree. I get furious with Angel Hernandez. The guy behind the plate is terrible, and even when he's at first base, calling outs at first base, he's one of the slowest people to call a call, let alone behind home plate, has the worst strike zone. I don't know if you've seen him, Tristen. Tony, you've seen the video a little bit on some of the calls that he had. And I mean, just some of his calls are just way out there. And his reactions are just like 10 years later when he makes that call, which makes it even worse.
Right. I mean, you see a lot of it all around baseball, but with him, it seems to be a growing thing where, he's calling balls strikes and strikes balls.
Yeah.
And like I said, it happens all throughout the league, but it's always Angel Hernandez that seems to be on the top of that list of worst umpires in the league, honestly. And and kind of like to touch on what Tony was saying about livelihoods and everything. I mean, you're causing these guys money by, that could have been a hit or, a possible walk. And, that's ruining people's chances of getting on base, and instead you're letting them strike out over calls that should have been made proper. So it really doesn't make any sense to me. And honestly, baseball really needs to work on that, in my opinion.
Well, especially since they have the stat tracker now in the pitch zones. I don't think you need anybody behind the plate now for seeing if they go through with the swing and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Have those guys down at first base and third base, and then the line judge out in the outfield. That'd be beneficial. But we're in the day and age now where we can use the stat tracker and use the strike zone. Sometimes they're a little off, but majority of the time they're spot on. And a lot of the pitchers do agree with the strike zone that it has. So, and most of the time it shows the correct strike zone. So, but all right, well, we'll get out of baseball and we'll head into the NFL. And lastly, we're going to talk the NFL draft coming up this Thursday. And I want your top 5 players to be taken this Thursday, and then who you'd like to see go to your team. I like the Jaguars taking Aiden Hutchinson at number 1 overall. Good rusher. They need help on D. At the number 2, I see the Lions going defense as well, and they need help there quite a bit. And I see them taking Travon Walker from Georgia at number 3. I've got Houston there. I see them taking down a lockdown corner and grabbing Gardner. So that would be a great fit for them. And then I think it will help a lot. I do. I really do. The Houston needs something on defense. Lockdown corner is a good way to go. At number 4, the Jets, I see them going defense as well. They go defensive line and take Kayvon Thibodeau, I believe is how you say that. And they're going to take him, the edge rusher from Oregon. And then at number 5, the Giants take Evan Neal to bolster the offensive line. He played at Bama. I really liked how he played there. He did really good. And then my team, the Chiefs, I either see them trading up and getting that 12 spot, trading with the Minnesota Vikings. That's who I see him going to right now. But if not, they get 2 in the first round, and I'd really like to see him go defense. I'm not studying anything on that because I do believe that they're going to trade up and try to get that wide receiver, and then they're going to go defense. But we'll see. Tristen, we'll go you, and then Tony.
So with mine, and pardon, I'm actually looking on my phone right now because I can't remember any of this stuff. So with 1 and 2 is actually a toss up with me because Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau, I think, are two really close players when it comes to their play style. Both really fast off the line, coming off that edge. So with Jacksonville, it's tough to say, but I'd probably give Aiden Hutchinson that number 1 spot, especially since everyone's been talking about it for so long. It's basically just been implanted in my brain, at least. Number 2, I see Detroit going after Kayvon Thibodeau. They really need to work on that defense. Houston, I really like Derek Stingley Jr. going there, the corner out of LSU. Houston also really needs good corners, especially ones that can play man to man and not let their guy beat them.
Yep.
And then I think, am I at 5 now? I think no, I'm at 4. I see New York taking the D lineman out of Georgia, Trayvon Walker. He's actually the mock draft has him at number 1 right now, but I think he's going to end up slipping to number 4. And then number 5, I think the Giants are going to stick with Sauce Gardner, Ahmad Sauce Gardner.
Yep.
Sauce is his nickname. Because like a lot of the teams, especially in the NFC East, they really need help on the defensive side. So corner, I really like Ahmad Gardner out of Cincinnati going there.
Okay. And your Cowboys?
What?
Who are your Cowboys going to take?
Well,
who do you want to see?
I honestly would like if Washington doesn't end up taking Garrett Wilson like they're predicted to. I'd like to see Dallas pick up Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver out of Ohio State.
Okay.
Ohio State recently has been producing a lot of top tier receiving talent, and I think Garrett Wilson is one of those guys that could really burn defenders if he gets too far down the field. So I'd like to see Dallas kind of padding that wide receiver room a little bit with a rookie.
They need some help, that's for sure. Tony?
So my top 5 picks, I'm going to start with Aiden Hutchinson as well.
Okay.
From what I've seen, he's on everybody's list to go number 1. I've seen Evan Neal go number 1 as well. I don't think they can go wrong with either one of them. I think, Jacksonville does need help on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
They need all the help they can get. If they can take all the first 10 picks, they need all that help. And even then, I don't know that they'd still win. So either one of those are interchangeable. Ahmad Gardner, I have him going at 3.
Okay.
And Kyle Hamilton and Derek Stingley have 4 and 5. For me, for the Steelers, I'd like for them to pick up, a good receiver, somebody that can, pull some good coverage, kind of how Juju did his rookie year.
Yeah.
And, I know they have Claypool, I'm not a big Claypool fan, but, maybe he did a little bit of maturing in the offseason and, he can ball out, and then we have a good number 2 that they can pull over.
Yeah.
That's who I'd like to see.
Okay.
So, there's really any of the receivers to go in the first round. It does not matter. I just want one of them.
Yeah. And on that, we will now head into the local sports update brought to you by Trackside Burgers. Go check them out today and get the fried gator burger. And we'll start with Webb City and be home Thursday. They will host Nixa at 4:30. And on Saturday, they will host Marshfield as well. And then for Joplin, they will hit the road on Thursday at Republic. And on Saturday, they will return home to take on Smithville and Carthage. As for Carthage, they will return home Thursday to play Willard at 4:30. And then we'll head to Joplin to take on Smithville at 12:30. And Joplin at 3 that day. And then Neosho will have Branson on senior night Thursday at 4:30. And lastly, Carl Junction will host Ozark Thursday at 4:30. And then Saturday, they will host Springfield Catholic. And then we have the 2-minute warning brought to you by Hot Stone Pizzeria, coming to Webb City pretty soon, I think within the next week. So excited for that. And we'll get started. And this week we'll talk Missouri Southern baseball. They will head to Drury today with a game at 5 p.m. And then we'll return home for their last series of the season as they play host to Missouri Western Friday at 6 p.m., Saturday at 1 p.m., and then Sunday at 1 p.m. as well. As for Pitt State, their last home game will be today at 5 p.m. against Missouri S&T, and they will hit the road to play Washburn Friday at 6, and then Saturday at 2, and Sunday at 1. And as for softball, Missouri Southern will hit the road today for a doubleheader at Missouri Western beginning at 2, with game 2 afterwards, and then we'll return home this weekend with the doubleheader against Newman Friday at 3 with game 2 to follow. And then Saturday, they will host number 4 Central Oklahoma at 1 with game 2 to follow. That will be their last season game as well. And be ready for the MIAA tournament coming up, going into the NCAA tournament. So as for Pitt State, they will also wrap up the season at home hosting Central Oklahoma Friday and a doubleheader at 1 p.m. followed by game 2. And then on Saturday against Newman, that game will begin at 1 with game 2 to follow. And of course, all these games and events are pending to weather and the current and fluid COVID-19 situation. So stay tuned to each team's social media pages for times and updates. And here's a list of ours as well. And you can catch us on any of these. And the music is here. So it's the end of another episode. And for Tony, Tristan, and myself, have a great and safe weekend. Thunderstorms in the forecast, so and try to enjoy some baseball. We'll hope that Sunday, if games get rained out on Friday and Saturday, but go see some of these teams as they head into postseason play, and lots of sports action going on here this weekend to wrap things up for everybody. So hope you guys can make it to an event, and stay safe, take care, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, buddy. See you.